Why do cats meow mostly at humans? The question sounds simple, but the more you observe, the more you realize it is both adorable and, in a way, strange. At home, a cat may meow all day, meowing when it is hungry, meowing when it wants the door opened, meowing when you have just come back, even meowing as if it is talking back to you in the kitchen. But if you look at life in the wild, you will notice something very different. Adult cats rarely meow at one another. They have many other ways to communicate, such as scent, posture, eye contact, growls, hisses, or low, short sounds. So why, once they live alongside humans, does meowing become their most familiar language? First, it helps to understand that meowing is not the main language between adult cats. Kittens meow a lot. They meow to call their mother, to signal hunger, to say they are cold, to express fear, to tell her, "I'm here." A kitten's cry is a survival lifeline. The kitten calls, the mother finds, the mother cares. As cats grow up, they rely less on their mother and gradually leave the stage of crying to be rescued. Adult cats in the wild need to be quiet to hunt and to avoid predators. Meowing too much reveals their location. That is why adult cats meow less, not because they are cold, but because their life strategy prioritizes silence and efficiency. So why do domestic cats meow so much at people? One short answer is because it works. Humans respond to sound. Humans do not smell the world the way cats do. We do not read subtle scents the way they do, and we do not always understand a cat's posture, tail, ears, or eyes. But humans hear well, and we are especially sensitive to calls that sound like a request or a need. A cat living with people will sooner or later discover a golden rule. Making the right kind of sound gets the attention of the two-legged giant. Once it has your attention, it has a chance to get what it wants: food, an open door, play, petting, or simply having you follow it. In other words, a meow is like a button. The cat presses the button, and the human turns around. Humans do not always comply, but the success rate is high enough that cats keep using it. Cats are masters at learning through consequences. You unintentionally teach your cat meow equals something happens very quickly. It only takes a few repetitions. The cat meows and you scoop the kibble. The cat meows and you open the door. The cat meows and you pick it up. The cat meows and you talk back. Over time, meowing becomes the most effective communication tool in a household. It is a kind of two-way conditioning. The cat learns how to trigger your response, and you learn how to guess what this meow means. But if we call it only a trick for begging, that is not quite fair to cats. Many studies and behavioral observations suggest that meowing in domestic cats is like a signal designed and refined through long-term living with humans. Here, design does not necessarily mean cats think like engineers. It means that over a long period of coexisting, cats that could use sound to communicate with people effectively gain more advantages. They lived more securely, received more care, got more attention, and therefore had better chances of survival and reproduction in human environments. Gradually, meowing became a bridge between two species, a short bridge that is easy to understand and easy to trigger. What is fascinating is that cats do not meow in only one way. If you listen closely, there is a whole palette of meows. There are short meows that sound like greetings. There are long meows that sound like pleading. There are high-pitched meows that feel like complaints. There are low, compact meows that seem like reminders. There are rapid, repeated meows that feel like urgency. Some cats even make sounds that resemble chirps or a soft chattering in the throat when they are excited or in a playful hunting mood. In other words, cats do not merely make noise. They adjust their tone and rhythm depending on the situation. And whom are they adjusting for? Mostly for humans, because to a cat, humans are the audience that needs to be translated to, using the kind of signal humans perceive most easily. From a human perspective, a meow feels like language. We often assign meanings. That meow means it's hungry. This meow means it wants to go outside. That one means it missed me. Sometimes we are right, sometimes we are wrong. But the fact that humans tend to assign meanings is precisely what gives meowing its power. A signal is useful only when the receiver understands it, or at least reacts in a way that benefits the sender. A cat does not need you to understand perfectly. It only needs you to act. You hear the meow and look over. You look over and stand up. You stand up and might do what the cat wants. That is enough.
In the wild, cats have a whole toolkit of communication methods, and many of them are meaningless to humans. Cats mark territory with scent, but people cannot detect it. Cats leave signals by rubbing their cheeks on objects, using scent glands around the face. Humans find it cute, but cannot read the detailed message. Cats change muscle tension and ear position to express emotion, but busy humans often miss it. So if cats relied only on cat-to-cat communication in a human household, they would often be ignored. Meowing fixes that. It cuts through human busyness like a doorbell. There is also a psychological point worth noticing. A cat's meow often has qualities that humans find hard to ignore. Many people describe a meow as similar to a child calling for a parent. That is not entirely accidental. Human hearing and human emotion are sensitive to high, intermittent, urgent sounds, the kinds of sounds babies produce to get care. When a cat meows in a way that makes us think something needs help, our caregiving instinct is activated. We feel uneasy, we feel guilty, we feel we must respond. Cats do not need to know neuroscience. Through experience, they simply learn which kind of meow softens you the fastest. That is why saying meowing is a way cats have designed to communicate effectively with humans is not an exaggeration. It is both a product of adaptation and a result of learning in each individual home. Cats living with gentle people who respond quickly often meow more and in more varied ways. Cats living with strict people who respond less may meow less or switch to other tactics, knocking objects, scratching doors, blocking your path, jumping onto a table and staring directly at you. Cats are highly flexible. If meowing does not work, they change strategies. If it works, they upgrade it, turning a simple sound into a rich system of signals. Still, not every meow is begging. Some meows are social, like greetings. You call your cat and it meows back. You talk and it meows as if it is answering. Sometimes you walk by and it meows and rubs against your leg as if saying, "I see you." In those moments, the meow is not a button. It is an emotional link. Cats may not show love in explosive ways, but they have small methods of keeping connection. A meow, in that sense, is like a thread, thin but strong. There is another reason humans get confused. Because cats meow mainly at people, we assume cats are talkative in general. In truth, with other cats, they speak differently. Two cats that are close may lie beside each other in silence. They negotiate distance through eye contact and ear traction. They read one another through movement rhythm and tail position. When tense, they growl, hiss, or make low sounds. Those are clearer warnings than a meow. Meowing, in the end, is human-directed language. It is like speaking slowly and using simple words when talking to someone learning your language. Cats do something similar. They choose the channel the other side understands best. If you live with a cat, you can watch to see how strategic meowing can be. When you are in another room, it meows louder. When you look at it, it meows more softly. When you stand up, it meows quickly and leads the way. When you are busy on the phone, it meows longer and more persistently. After you feed it, the meow changes in tone, sometimes shifting into a satisfied purr. If you pay attention, you'll notice that cats rarely meow without purpose. They are constantly adjusting the message to fit the listener. Understanding why cats meow mostly at humans can also help us treat them better. When a cat meows, many people instantly think it wants food and respond with annoyance, ignoring it or feeding it just to make it stop. But the cat may be saying something else. It wants you to come closer. It wants the window opened. It wants you to stop the vacuum cleaner. It wants to play. Or it simply wants to confirm that you are still there. If we understand meowing as a communication channel, we start asking, what is it asking for, rather than, why is it bothering me? That small shift can change the entire human-cat relationship. Of course, some cats meow very little. That does not mean they do not understand humans. They may simply have a quiet personality, or they learned early that staying silent still gets results. Some speak with their eyes, by sitting in the right place, by placing a paw on you. Some meow only when it is truly necessary. Others meow so much that owners think they are chatty. That is simply individual variation. But the general trend remains true. Compared with communication among adult cats in the wild, communication between cats and humans often relies more on meows, because it fits human perception and habits. In the end, if I had to wrap it into an image, I would say a meow is like a key that cats have shaped to fit the human lock. In a cat's world, scent, silence, and small movements are sentences. But in our world, sound is a doorbell. A cat that lives with humans long enough learns how to ring the bell at the right time in the right way, so that the door of attention opens. It is not only cleverness, it is a gentle form of adaptation, proof that even between two very different species, a shared language can form, even if it is only two simple syllables. Meow, meow.